I have a reading question for you.
Yes, I barely can.
Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
I would rather lose the ability to read.
And
I can bullshit my way through just about anything.
That's what I was going to say.
It's the Scott and Alley Not For Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Alley.
Wait, let me open this first because I like to have some liquids while we're talking.
Well, Allie's starting the podcast with cracking one. What are you drinking over there?
It is blackberry tangerine sparkling water from
What I'm
Wegmans.
looking forward to is the imminent belch that will make an appearance like a guest star on the Scott and Alley Not For Air podcast, which we are here for.
You know, if they want to endorse me, they absolutely can.
Well, they could. And obviously a gas company such as, I don't know, Beano or something might be able to jump in on this in a few minutes.
Cute. Now, we did say in the last podcast we were going to get to this closet talk.
Yes.
Closet talk.
Before I get there, I want to tell you something funny. And this will be a warmer-upper for you here. You know, you ever see where there's like, you know, factory workers, they'll do like an exercise as a group before the factory starts their work for the day?
We used to do this at JCPenney's. We had a meeting, and they would have us do like, it was like our sales yesterday were blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they would go on to, it might be like a little icebreaker, like, Sean went to the store and bought a tomato. And then you had to be the next person. Sean went to the store and bought a tomato and a Diet Coke. And then, okay, you get what I'm saying.
Or then you get down the line, and it's Martha's birthday.
Oh,
Yay,
we always
Martha.
have Martha's birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, all right.
I'm 89 years young today.
I've been working the shoe department since 1968.
And she had been.
Well, at any rate, a little warmer-upper. So Gavin, all of third grade, we're doing spelling words. You know, that's part of the homework. And then he has a test every Friday. He's gotten, I think, all but 2 weeks of the school year, he's gotten 100. And then very close the other weeks.
Good for Gavin.
And I'm finding myself, well, two observations. One, by the time he's done with his schooling, I might actually become a good speller.
Give me a word. Tell me a word that he's spelling right now.
That's exactly what we're doing. So we've got some 4-letter words in there. Now, normally I'm proficient in those. There's a few of them I can spell like nobody's business. But this one in particular, and I'm trying to come up with ways for him to remember it in like fun ways. And I don't know. This one was, it's just simply the word what.
Oh, WHAT.
Right. All right, kind of dull the way it's delivered. But when you come at your 3-year-old and you go, all right, it's time to spell what? So
he knows there's the H in there because you can hear it. The what?
Yeah. You know, and it's almost.
I love it.
You got a little John it a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what? Yeah. You know. So we have
That's
this like
adorable.
we have this pep rally. And last night we were cleaning up the kitchen after dinner, and I come to him and I go, hey, spell what? And he goes, what? And then he spelled it for that. I'm like, all right. So that's
so
if we all take a second right now together collectively, watching or listening, and on the count of 3, go what? You're going to be in a mood for this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. What? Okay, there you go. Now, and that's how we do it. And I'll come. Oh, and then I tease him. We have the biggest word he ever is going to spell.
Oh, what is it?
I.
EYE?
Oh, now see, the brain would go there when you say the biggest word that you would spell would be EYE, but you're going to get a buzzer.
Okay.
And the reason why is it's just the letter I. So that's where I mess with him. I go, man, this is a big word, Gavin, a big, big word.
I was thinking also, is it AYE or A?
Oh, like I.
Well, no, like I, Captain.
I. Oh,
how do you
I,
spell
sir.
that?
That's a good question.
Is that AYE?
Yes, I think that's AYE.
Yeah, AYE, I, Captain.
I.
Oh,
you're right.
Do you want to give me another one?
But you see though, the funny of that, you have what, and then you have the biggest spelling word you're going to get all week, and that's one letter.
Yeah.
So,
Cute.
but that was starting that. Now, all right, now I'm with the closet. Because we never remember what we do, podcast versus the Scott and Alley show, we've had the conversation somewhere of the folding of clothes when you're in a newer living together situation.
Right.
Do you remember we were talking about the folding of the shirts?
Yes.
And all that, and how I fold the gap fold. You have a name for that.
The trifold.
The trifold, yeah.
But I'd asked you at the very end of the podcast last week about, did she ask to bring her stuff? Did she just bring her stuff? Because I said, I got like a little cubby at Zach's for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I think you said she brought it like in a car or something on the second, or like, how did that's what we were talking about.
It's well, and that kind of will translate into where this is going.
Okay.
So yes, there was a extremely large suitcase. There's still some more to transport over, but you know, it's like, well, fine. When we take the hour drive to her old house, we'll put more stuff in and bring it over. And she's even mentioned, she goes, I got to grab some more stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because she's still paying utilities at her old house too.
No, actually, it is. It's a in the family home. So, and I guess I can't
Passed
say
down
that.
to another family member.
Yeah.
All of a sudden she got evicted by her uncle.
Yeah, right. you gotta go. No, come to think of it, she does have some utilities that she pays, but that's got to be like $40 a month now. There's just not a lot going on.
She turned off her internet and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
most of all.
TV.
Well, no, they got the best family sharing thing going on there. I swear to God, she carries the cell phone bill, I think. Somebody carries the cable bill. They're all sharing different things. I don't know, but it's family.
Okay.
Well, I'm like, can I get on this? I'll jump off the internet.
Right. Who wants to pay for my bills?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But so some of it has come, not all of it yet, just because we don't go by the old neighborhood that often. So yeah, it's got to get done. But there's some other things that have to depart the property before everything's gone. Not in the main living space of the house, but some other items that just need to go, if you will, that should really just go in storage. But we'll save that part of the story and my angst. But I had this observation.
Okay.
And I think this is...
Because I want to say one thing, I want to interject.
Sure.
I might want to buy something from this pack of things that might be departing.
Okay, are we talking a certain degree of, shall we say, exercise material?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I was thinking if the previous party didn't want it anymore, could I buy it depending on what you guys have?
All I can answer with that is the previous party may have a very distinctive set of time to pick something up should they desire to before the property becomes 100% mine, in which case, what would you like?
Well, I'm not sure yet, but I know that you guys had a sweet little setup, and we now have like a little gym area. I don't have room for a lot of stuff. Honestly, I wish I would have asked you for the treadmill a long time ago, because that's the one thing I really want. But we don't have room for it.
You just sit tight a little bit longer while the professionals work that out, and I'll let you know. You'll be the first one to be contacted.
Well, here's my thought. Maybe I could just like put the treadmill in Zach's office or something. So, I mean, Zach doesn't use his office very often.
Listen, if it's out of my house via the former situation, or you take it, it's a better day. So
you can shove it up your butt for all I care.
You listen, or hers. But either way, sit tight because there is, like I said, the professionals are working through figuring that aspect of it out. Either way, it will be gone at some point, hopefully to you. I'd like to see it be able to be used by someone that would use it.
Oh, I would absolutely use it.
Yeah, because even the previous owner didn't. But either way.
The Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast is sponsored by Allison Aesthetics. It's Allie Payne. Come along with me in my journey.
Part of my maintenance, like you guys see, I get my nails done. I get my hair done. But the lips are what make me feel good. Got to get in there. Got to get those lips done. When I started, it was like, I'm just going to put a little toe in there. And now I'm like, I want to plump these babies up. So for me, like, it's been an evolution. So just wait. I was asking Jamie for the keyhole because I saw it on somebody else. And I was like, I want her lips. Give me that.
Consultations at Allison Aesthetics. So if you're considering any of these treatments, such as Botox or a little lip filler or just any skincare concern, that is something that we will always offer.
But then when I see the before and afters of the lips, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks freaking awesome.
Yep.
That is like such a difference. That's perfect. This is my self-care. This makes me happy. let's talk about this closet thing. So she had a suitcase.
Yeah.
And then she came with a car full of stuff. 'Cause
Well, there was a suitcase, a laundry basket. There has been shy of getting a truck of sorts, because I don't know that that's needed. It's been grab and bring.
Have you ever been to her house before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A couple times. It's a cute little place.
Okay.
It's
for you to go, there's some stuff like when I move, I have so much to bring.
Well, it's an interesting situation because she has certain things, but she was also in a previous long-term relationship, and it did not end well. Well, like many relationships, rarely do they end well.
Right.
I guess they're ending for a reason.
She didn't get the couch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly what came with it, but there's certain things that just will never leave the house that is in the family, if you will. Certain things are hers, certain things will never leave the house, and that's okay. So it's not like we need to go out and get, a Mayflower truck to move things. There are certain things that will come, but we might be able to do it with, like, I don't know, one of my buddy Terry's trailers.
Okay. So there's not stuff that she has an attachment to.
Some. So would you believe? Okay, so she's a big reader, and has a ton of books. So
they're so heavy to carry.
Well, they are. I'm like, can you just put them on a stinking Kindle? But either way, can you imagine now? This is going to be something that's going to be in the living room eventually. There will be bookshelves. Like it'll become very sophisticated looking. I feel like.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
reading, that's an amazing thing, Scott.
I should really check it out
Speaking
sometime. Stop waiting for the movie.
Speaking of, I have a reading question for you.
Yes, I barely can.
Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
I would rather lose the ability to read.
And
I can bullshit my way through just about anything.
That's what I was going to say. I know what your answer is.
Well, I mean, listen, we do a ton of reading for the show.
Yes.
Really, what probably maybe a lot of people don't realize is we are constantly being fed information. I'll come back to the closet in a minute, by the way. We are constantly being fed information all during the morning show. It starts well before we get in the morning, sometimes like 2 a.m, and then continues throughout the course of the show and throughout the course of the day. So are we reading a ton? Yes. Do we take that and then turn it into things that are, either shared with the audience or whatever? Absolutely. So it would become an interesting dynamic. I guess somebody would have to sit there and tell me what I need to share with you guys, and it would have to be me sharing it at that point. But
great. So I would basically be reading everything and then telling you what to say. This is perfect.
Pretty much.
I love telling him what to do.
It fits. It tracks. It totally tracks.
I love reading. I would not want to lose the ability to read. One of my girlfriends, she's a librarian here in town.
Which is ironic. I could take your ability to stop talking. I'm kidding.
Says the main talker.
Yes.
So my one girlfriend, I know that she would rather not talk because she loves reading. She reads every day, every night. She lives for her weekends where she sits at home and reads. And I
don't ever complain about not having a man if you're going to live that lifestyle.
Oh, she does. She loves being single.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that is awesome. I love reading too, but I have lost my voice twice, I think, in the past 18 years that we've worked together.
Yeah.
I hated every second of it.
I'm dying
to talk.
You get all that phlegm that just locks down the larynx, and you're like, hey, everyone.
But it's not even that. It's just the fact that I couldn't communicate, and it was driving me crazy. I could text people, but that was not good enough for me. I love talking.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to lose the ability.
No, and growing up, my best friend used to always say, like, oh, she loves to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever want to lose
Listen,
that.
I might have the biggest vocabulary if it really goes bad for me and I have to get one of those trach holes and I got to get a thing that talks like this. I might have the record for the most words spoken through one of those. Who knows?
Right? All of a sudden it gets really dry. We have to put one of those, those little squirt bottles that gerbils drink out of. We got to squirt that in your hole.
Like when you're wearing a football helmet and they come up and squirt it through the mask. Give me a little bit of a squirt.
So I'll be telling you what to say.
And squirting my trach hole.
Right.
That's about the only time that a trach hole is funny is when you make fun of yourself having one.
Yes.
Because I don't want to make fun of anyone else having one. Clearly something got you there.
Well, and we talked about this on the show before, and my grandmother's, because I was so freaking scared of that. She had one of those trach holes and she sounded like that. So she would be like, come here, Alicia, give me a kiss. I'm like, oh, no.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, seriously, let me ask you a question. This is dead serious. So what we just did was make fun of ourselves and the potential for that, because I don't want anyone to feel that has one to feel as though we're being insensitive to them, because we're just making fun of the fact we can't shut up, and even if we had one, we'd continue to we'd have the most words spoken with it, right?
Right. The driest trach hole.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, we're in no way pointing a finger at folks that have to go through that, or if you have a family member or a friend that has one. But I got to ask a question. This really just brought something to my attention. Beetlejuice 2 is coming out. Okay. In 1988, when the movie was originally released and then became huge in 89. All right. There was, and one of yours and my favorite characters was the lady in heaven, or no, Heaven's Waiting Room, and she was the smoker, and the smoke was coming out of her throat, and you know, and she was, now that actress, I believe, is long past.
I'm sure.
I mean, she. Frankly, she may not have been alive in the original filming of Beetlejuice. She was so old.
She was in Heaven's or Hell's Waiting Room. Well, whatever.
Heaven's Waiting Room, yeah. Would that joke hold today in the sequel? Are they going to be able to pull off certain things that were acceptable in 88, 89? Because you think about it, there were some things in that movie. The decapitated football player. Remember, the whole football team was in Heaven's Waiting Room. The lady
because it portrays a football player being dead?
Damar Hamlin, I mean, almost died on the field. I mean, you've got that. I mean, we have become... Okay, I think we've crossed through the most sensitive and butthurt period of society, which AKA 2019 to 2021. But are some of those okay yet? Because I think humor's swinging back a little bit. Look at Matthew Reith. Matthew Reith. Am I saying his right? Reith. Rife. Thank you, Rife. Yes, like my wife, but Rife. Yeah. Almost like a rifle. So Matthew Reith gets away, I mean, and funnier than can be. I love him, right? Even though I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, and it's 4 letters. Figured that one out. I thought I was good with 4 letters. But he can get away with doing things. And you made a comment to me off air. I go, how does he pull it off? And you go, well, he's just so inclusive. Yes, I guess he is inclusive in putting you down. But he's great. I mean, I love it.
And that's my answer is that you have to just be able to laugh at yourself. If I was missing,
but that got lost for years. It felt like.
But I think then we're to the point where if I lost my arm, who's making fun of me? Me. I'm going to be the first person to make fun of my loss of arm, my loss of leg, my trachea hole, whatever it is. Is that now I think we just have to laugh at these things.
Okay.
And you know, okay, yeah, there is still some jokes that are completely off limits. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, if I lose my arm, this is an unfortunate accident. Or if I lose my leg, it's an unfortunate accident. But, you know, I'm not going to be depressed for the rest of my life.
I guess speaking specifically of the lady from the original Beetlejuice movie, based on what you're saying there, it did depict how she died. She clearly smoked too much. She ended up having to have surgery. It came out. It clearly depicted how the football team died, including the decapitated football player. There was some other ones too.
I mean, don't you say
the lady that was sawed in half in the waiting room from The Bad Magician. Remember her?
Yes, I do. Now, as far as the lady with the trach.
Yes.
Some of that to me says, well, you did that to yourself. So
okay, and then that
we have to accept our fate to a certain degree.
Okay.
And really the football players, is it that insensitive? Okay, they were teenagers, right? When the football player.
No, they were
adults.
They were adults in the movie, and they were depicted as kind of the dumb jock, you know. And then the one guy's holding. I swear there was one guy holding his head. I thought, but
why did I assume that they were teenagers?
No, they were definitely not. They were absolutely adults. It would be like if the Kansas City Chiefs plane went down before they made it to the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen because they were already there. Obviously, this is going to air after the Super Bowl. But
I will say this. That I think that at this point we can at least make light jokes about most things. Now, if they would have had a dead baby, then no, that is one of those off limits.
Nothing really funny there.
Right, exactly. Okay. Other than that, yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, all right. I just, you question it because there was that sandwich,
And-
the middle part that really was, very sensitive.
And if you're one of those people that just took everything that I said too seriously, I
Don't
don't
go
wanna-
to the movie.
No, I don't want to be friends with you.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah,
I
sorry.
can't be friends with that kind of person.
Oh, so all that, back to the closet for a minute. And this
Yeah.
is a really quick question here. So yes, I'm going to go probably 60% of stuff is moved in. And just when we make the rest of the trips, we'll get to it. And I'm sure we'll just throw it in the back of the Highlander. That being said, though, here's another adjustment in life. She hangs everything. T-shirts. And you said, yep, girls do that.
Yeah.
The one that gets me is the hoodies. Do you hang hoodies?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes. The only thing I don't hang is tank tops.
Now, that's something I would expect to be hung.
No. That can get rolled in a little Marie Kondo kind of way.
All right.
I don't hang jeans, and I don't hang workout pants. Even
Okay.
my bras lay in a drawer, and they're like that. I don't
Yeah.
hang my underwear either. But
Now, that would be funny.
right.
Okay, so it's so the hanging of the hoodies is not weird.
Not at all.
Okay.
Especially because everything in my closet is color coordinated. So I've got, my black hoodies with my black shirts, my
Well,
gray hoodies.
I better
and-
ask that question because 6059 is I'm going to use the term very specific, particular, and not in a bad way,
Yeah.
just particular in certain things, a touch of OCD. But I understand that because I have a big touch of that. And I never asked if I should be color coordinating, but I'm going to freely admit I didn't do a good job of observing if it was. So if I'm putting stuff away, I should probably look at that or ask, would you prefer the blacks all in one area, the oranges, the things like that?
You definitely need to ask this
Okay,
because
all right.
I don't want to be so frustrated. So I put Zach's clothes away, but he doesn't put my clothes away because of this, because I know he would mess it up. And I don't want that. I need to have this a certain way, which is why I actually put his clothes away because he doesn't care. So I fold everything because it does have to be folded a certain way, and I
Sure.
put it away. Now he washes it, but he does the front part of everything. I do the back part of everything.
Okay.
Because of this. So if you are putting things away where they shouldn't be, I would lose my mind.
Well, I'm doing it in the right sense of, I'm hanging the hoodies. I just thought that was weird. I was like, a hoodie, but okay, I'm happy to do it.
Yes.
Although, what a pain in the ass. You got to go from the bottom with a hanger up through the thing.
I just stretch the neck out.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's got a little neck, so it would be it would
A friend of mine
just made it seem like you have a huge neck. Sorry.
No, it's fine. A friend of mine who used to stay at my house all the time, he would have his clothes and stuff in my spare closet. And I would, sometimes hang his clothes, whatever. And he would say, quit stretching out my necks.
Yeah.
This drives me crazy. I'm like, well, then don't stay here. This is not my problem.
but-
I'm not your girlfriend, so we're going to do it my way.
My thing.
See, I hate
Perfect.
when people don't do it my way, and I would hate it if somebody did that to me. But when it comes to me to him, I'm like, then fine. Then I don't have to do it.
Right, exactly. Well, I should ask about the color because that was the
Yes.
one thing I didn't do. I just sort of put them in where they're, where I shove the stuff down and then start hanging, and I should do that.
You
That's a good point.
1,000%
All right.
should.
Very
So
good.
just so you know, we're on a really big time crunch right now.
Yes.
If you look at the time. Okay.
I am looking at the
Okay.
time.
I
yes.
wasn't sure if you were looking at that.
Is
or
there
not.
anything of the things you wanted to hit that we have time for we have literally 3 minutes.
Okay.
Unless you have to pee, in which case we have no minutes.
No. I'll ask this one last thing.
Okay. And then we'll have to save
is
more
a-
for next time.
This is a great dating thing that I wouldn't do, but this is the new generation of dating. So a friend of mine, she friended this person that she was talking to on maybe Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I'm not sure what she was on. But anyway, she friended them on social even before the first date. And her theory on this was, she was like, this way they can see everything about me. If they don't like it, then we don't have to waste our time.
Doesn't everybody do this?
No,
Really?
I always wait. No, I always waited.
Yeah, but you're the biggest stalker on the planet.
Oh yeah, I
so-
stalk, but I don't friend you. So
Yeah, but how do you see everything?
Well, that's the problem. It's harder to see stuff, especially. And she even said, she's like, well, I'm private, so I wanted to make sure that he saw everything.
Yeah.
And
I thought more people did we'll friend each other before we date.
no,
than
I
not.
always was trying to get to like 3 dates, get to know you, because then if it doesn't work, now I have to unfriend you.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
No.
So that's why I like to at least make sure that this might work out before I friend you.
Oh,
And
I
she's
think
like,
you got
"No."
it backwards. I think you should be friending up front and just taking the effort to unfriend after if it doesn't work out. Well, you're not going to have to worry about this anymore, I don't
No,
think.
but
no, you want to find out. Look, we're in a day and age. You have access to more information about a person than you ever had back in the day. Think about what it was like for me, back in the day before we had the internet and all that stuff, when you had to meet people and all that stuff. It might take 5 months to find out they were crazy. So
Totally.
You really, I think you friend first, and it's okay. Let them in, let them see it, let them experience what it is and see things. And then if it doesn't work out, unfriend from there, or do the friend restriction where you can only see certain things.
see, I never want to be the meanie who has to unfriend you because this just isn't working out.
No, if you have the now this is interesting, and I will share this really quickly. So one of the things I love about 6059 is she is very active on a viewing of TikTok stuff. She uses it for different things like that. She uses Instagram. Does not use Facebook and actually has an account, but keeps herself literally like she put the account on hold or whatever the case may be, except for when she signs into Spotify, then has to remember to go in and disable it and stuff like that. But I love the fact that she is old school. She is not just blah all out there. And I love it. And you know what I found out? You know what's really interesting? I think we have a better connection that way because we've really had to get to know each other as the real people than what you perceive to see. I'm talking myself out of this friending of someone right up front because when you see things, no, you're right. I just did. I talked myself out. You have it right. Wait for a while. And here's why. I know you want to know everything up front, but I think I'm thinking in your mindset of you want to be super spy. Here's the reality to it. Think how good and solid it is when you get to know the person without making any sort of snap judgments about that picture that you don't really know the context
Right,
of.
preconceived notions.
Yeah. So you know what? I think you're right. I think it stays 100% private, or at least whatever people can see, the limited amount they can see, the 5 pictures and the different profile pictures you've had for 5 years.
Right.
And you leave it at that until you're ready to let them in. Get to know the person because I will tell you, knowing her now without having the misconceptions of social media, it puts you in a different light. You feel you know the person. And a great example of that, I know someone that has certain things on their social media that would immediately red flag people. And it's not necessarily risque things and stuff like that. It's certain, and it's not political, it's certain stances of things that they've taken. And maybe we should talk before I see that, because I might be shutting you out before we even get the chance to talk and know each other. I just talked myself out of it, and I'm on your side.
Zach and I are totally opposite, even politically.
Sure.
So if I would have known all that about him, that
You would have misconceived everything.
Right. Where we actually agree to disagree on some things, or
you might find common ground. Zach's not unreasonable. He might have a side he likes.
Right. Now I am.
He's smart. Well, there is that. That might be the place to say. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.